is Dwayne Cadiz, and I am an independent marketing associate with the One Life Network. So I'm an independent marketing associate with the One Life Network, and I am not a professional financial advisor. The materials used in this presentation are the properties of their respective owners. The One Life Network does not sell cryptocurrency. The views expressed in this presentation does not represent financial advice. Listeners are responsible for their own financial decisions, and I do not make any claims of returns on investment with reference to OneCoin's value. So the good book says in Hosea 4:6 that my people perish for lack of knowledge. So we have a couple of questions to ask ourselves this evening, beginning with, do you think in today's fast-paced economy that you can navigate without knowledge? Does being in the know give you a competitive edge? If there's a technology that will impact the world in a significant way, would you like to know about it earlier rather than later? And what do you think the value of that information will bring to you in the future? I'm challenging you to come up with a figure in your mind. And remember, if the thought doesn't scare you, then it's not big enough. And of course, we need to understand what's happening. There's a shift taking place in global finance. Global finance is changing as we speak. So this video that I'm about to queue up from The Economist will highlight some of the changes taking place in both the global as well as the local economy. So I'll ask you just to bear with me 1 sec as I queue that video up. So here we go. This information courtesy The Economist magazine.
America has dominated global finance since the end of the Second World War, when the current system was built.
Designed to establish the economic foundations of peace on the bedrock of genuine international cooperation.
But the economic disaster caused by the coronavirus pandemic could signal a new chapter in financial history, with America's leadership called into question.
COVID-19 has shown that America is failing to sort out its own affairs abroad, let alone provide global leadership.
$484 billion for gold. After the first round of funding ran out, another huge spike in unemployment claims.
With a vacuum emerging at the top of the financial order, China is vying to compete for greater control.
This is not a case of China becoming Wall Street overnight. The crisis has provided China with an opportunity to show what it's capable of doing, which in the long run will keep the balance of power.
In global finance, America is king. It controls the world's financial plumbing and accounts for almost a quarter of the world economy. The dollar makes up most central bank reserves and is the currency of international trade. 80% of global supply chains use dollars, which gives America significant power.
Whoever controls the flows of money at the end of the day controls a lot of things in the economy and ends up being the puppet master of a lot of things that go on around the world.
China hopes to correct this imbalance. There is a growing call from the international community for reforming within China. Chinese banks account for only 7% of cross-border lending, so the bank's vast size hasn't translated into influence within the world's financial system yet.
Its banks are becoming more active overseas. They are lending to companies, in particular Chinese companies that are globalizing. China is also giving its own currency a more prominent role in commodities markets. It has convinced a few companies to use the currency. Rio Tinto, which is one of the largest iron ore miners in the world, issued its first contract in yuan last year.
The COVID-19 pandemic could increase China's financial influence.
China is now sharing its experience with the rest of the world and providing much needed supplies. 30 tons of equipment to Italy, 500,000 surgical masks to Spain.
Following the outbreak in Wuhan, China has positioned itself as a global leader, containing the outbreak, agreeing to deals to suspend repayment of some of its loans, and charging ahead with vaccine development.
The COVID crisis, at least so far, has cast a negative shadow on the capacity for leadership of America. It did not try or even show interest in marshalling a global response to this crisis.
It's going to disappear one day. It's like a miracle. It will disappear.
This could offer an opportunity for China because it's tried to fill the vacuum that America has left in terms of global leadership.
China's tough response to the crisis and the growing size and depth of its financial markets have helped convince investors it's a safe bet, even as COVID sent other markets crashing. While emerging markets saw the value of bonds plummet earlier this year, China's government bonds remain stable, which is a good gauge of trust in the country's economy.
China has the second biggest bond market in the world. COVID provided the first test that this bond market could resist the crisis in a way that typically emerging market bonds don't. It showed investors
border lending. So the bank's vast size hasn't translated into influence within the world's financial system yet.
its banks are becoming more active overseas. Trust China as an economy that they don't think it's going to collapse overnight.
As well as improving its reputation with international investors, China hopes to increase its hold over how money moves around the world. America has huge influence over the current system, thanks to SWIFT, the world's largest network for transferring money. It's a messaging system that allows financial institutions to communicate. It's meant to be geopolitically neutral. But because a majority of SWIFT transactions are in dollars, and these are routed through New York, America has used the system to choke its adversaries. Russia feared being excluded after its invasion of Crimea, and some Iranian banks were blocked from using the system in 2018 to enforce US sanctions.
So SWIFT is based in Belgium, so it is supposed to be neutral. However, America has a strong influence over it. America can also threaten SWIFT with sanctions if SWIFT does not do what America wants. This is very upsetting for its allies, which would rather the system stays neutral and for the benefit of everyone.
For now, China can't hope to challenge America's dominance of SWIFT. Instead, Chinese companies are targeting a different part of the financial system, the way in which consumers spend their money. Most consumer payments rely on American giants Visa and MasterCard. But Chinese tech companies have developed a series of apps that disrupt this system. Rather than using bank accounts or credit cards for transactions, consumers load money into digital wallets. Consumers can then do almost anything, from paying parking fines to making investments or ordering taxis, without any of this money flowing through the banks, creating a parallel financial ecosystem.
This is potentially very disruptive to the financial system. It changes the way the money moves around the world. It empowers a new set of companies which are so big that even the Chinese government is scared of them.
Last year, Chinese customers made mobile payments worth a total of $49 trillion. And the two main Chinese companies offering this tech, Tencent and Ant Financial, are enormous, with 1 billion users each. COVID-19 may increase their reach.
People are doing more shopping online, trying to stay away from cash, which is seen as a potential contaminant. And this is all to the benefit of electronic payment firms.
Ant Financial and Tencent are already expanding overseas. Ant Financial's app, Alipay, is accepted in 56 countries and regions. And other digital wallet firms are buying into their tech. Alipay's QR format has already been adopted by 6 European mobile wallets.
America has reasons to be worried about the Chinese giants. They are getting bigger in the region because they are investing the wallets in Southeast Asia and beyond. And in effect, it creates a system that is not reliant on American companies, American standards, American norms.
But China faces a major obstacle. Much of the world distrusts its intentions.
China denying a cover-up.
Where top Chinese officials kept it quiet.
After all, Chinese leaders initially denied and covered up the spread of COVID-19.
There is always a doubt about what is the ultimate objective that China is pursuing in being so collaborative at the present time. It is not always transparent about the truth and what happens in its own country. In a global financial system, you need transparency, you need to know the facts, what's going on, to make sure the system is in good health.
As China's financial sphere of influence grows, it's unclear whether it will complement America's by creating more competition or undermine the existing system.
In the end, what we could see is the fragmentation of the global financial system in an America-dominated sphere and a China-dominated sphere. These two systems don't have to be mutually exclusive. They could actually collaborate with each other. If they do, great. If they don't, then it will be harder to move money around the world. It will be a costlier, a more dangerous financial system, and in the end, most people will lose out.
China may not become the dominant force in global finance anytime soon, but COVID-19 is helping to fast-track its progress. And as the world recovers from the virus and economies begin to open up, China will be well placed to make significant gains.
Thanks for watching. I'm Mathieu Favas, finance correspondent at The Economist, and if you want to read more about how...
So folks, after looking at that video, we can only come to one conclusion, that it's all about trust. So in a global climate that is high in competition and agendas, whoever controls money controls everything. So who can you trust? America uses the SWIFT system to exercise its economic muscles through sanctions. And China, although having a robust economic structure, isn't transparent. There's a need for a global cross-border digital payment system that checks all the boxes. The global financial pie is worth trillions, with many providers enjoying market share. So as we heard in the video, companies that operate out of China and out of the Asian region, such as Ant Finance and Tencent, enjoying $49 trillion worth of business in the last fiscal year. And their networks have 1 billion persons in each and growing as we speak. So which digital currency will fit the bill for global compliance? If you fail to see where this is heading, then you don't lack sight, you lack vision. So folks, money is the common denominator, and it's also a concept. I voiced this on a social media platform just a couple of days ago, and someone disagreed with me that money is not a concept, but they have yet to tell me why. So I'm saying it's a concept because it started off with barter trade, coincidence of wants. So you want some fruits, I need some poultry, and we come about an exchange. And of course, in the evolution of mediums of exchange, we had precious metals, which are silver, gold, copper, platinum, and the likes. And of course, coming out of that medium of exchange, fiat currency was born, claim checks on actual physical holdings in precious metals. And of course, the evolution continues. Digital payments, and these are payments that are linked to the same fiat currency monetary system, simply ones and zeros, binary language on a computerized system that the financial institutions generate at their whim and fancy. And now we have come to the place where we are actually becoming the banks through the advent of this technology of peer-to-peer transactions known as cryptocurrency. So you may be asking, well, kiddies, what's the big deal? So here we're talking about consensus, better known as agreement. If 1 billion persons agree that something has value, then what happens? Supply and demand automatically kicks in. The people that have the supply automatically have value appreciation and an exponential increase in buying power. So you do the research. When I was putting this presentation together, probably about a month ago, there were 8,795 different cryptocurrencies, from Bitcoin to Dogecoin to Litecoin to you name it. But in comparison, OneCoin uses blockchain technology. OneCoin has coins for global adoption. We meet regulatory standards and in cross-border encrypted payment systems. We also have an integrated platform for buyers and sellers. We educate our miners. We create usability, and we actually have an administration backing our crypto, unlike a few cryptos out there. So it's time for a paradigm shift, folks. Communities are no longer bound by geographic limitations in respect of commerce, communication, nationality, class, and race. For example, Facebook is a digital platform that has a community of 2.8 billion, made up of persons from all around the world. These persons can afford to do business among themselves and create a wealth pool that will see no end of other persons attempting to get in on the action. So picture, if you would, with me, Facebook, an online nation on its own, and those members being able to do business within that community. And of course, because the commerce is circulating in that economy, everybody is well-to-do, everybody's needs are met. Of course, people are going to be banging down those doors to get in on the action. And it's simply this: if you build it, they will come. So what is the One Life Network, you might be asking at this point in time? So we're a fintech company, and we sell financial educational courses relevant to today's environment. We use MLM or word of mouth to sell our products. It's just that simple. We provide business solutions for this digital era. And these are some of our solutions: blockchain technology, which is the basis of our organization. Within there, you have financial compliance such as KYC, AML, and CFT compliance, and also encryption for secured payments and global advertising. And of course, our proof of concept is the Deal Shaker platform. So right now, I'd like to play a clip for you. So we've been around since 2015. And I'm taking you back in time now into 2018 to show you that we have already taken the front.
Trinidad Hilton was today the host to a Deal Shaker Expo, where shoppers had the opportunity to peruse a vast number of booths and pay for their items totally or in part with cryptocurrency. The event, put together by the One Life Network, was an effort to promote the use of cryptocurrency, which they believe represents the future of trading. Janine Brown reports.
The One Life Cryptocurrency Expo featured some 75 vendors offering products ranging from jewelry, delicacies, foreign user vehicles, and what many claim as the national dish, doubles. Cryptocurrency has been gaining popularity the world over, despite the fact that many governments have not yet established regulations for its use. Independent marketing associate with One Life, Kimral Ali, believes it's the price of innovation, taking a risk. He explains One Life has implemented certain policies to reduce the chance for people to use the coin system for illegal activities such as money laundering.
Each individual has to be KYC approved. KYC means know your customer, so every individual must upload a photo ID of themselves as well as proof of address, which is verified by the company before you're able to transact business.
He is confident that the benefits outweigh the concerns. He says that the system has the potential to solve trading problems which exist today.
When last did you go to the bank to get foreign exchange? You know the issues surrounding that. But with cryptocurrency, you literally can transact business throughout the world, and you don't need to find the currency of that nation. And that's one of the major benefits.
Vendors were equally optimistic about a future in cryptocurrency.
This is the future, and being that it's into the future, I want to be able to be a person on top of my game.
A lot of things are unregulated, but it's like, if you really compare it to it's like a credit card. At one time, we didn't know anything about credit cards, and people were accepting it.
Earlier this year, the Central Bank of Trinidad and Tobago said it was in the process of finalizing a policy on cryptocurrency with the hope for publication later this year. Janine Brown, C News.
So folks, 2 years plus on and the central bank is still trying to make up its mind regarding cryptocurrency. However, whenever they are ready, we will be ready for them. So we're looking at some of the elements of our ecosystem here, and we have some that are functional and some yet to come on stream. So one of the main things or the main components or the elements of our ecosystem is the educational component, where we feature financial education in different modules. We have our One Life community, because we are building a global community. So just like Ant Finance and Tencent, we have a target market, and our target market is actually 10 million persons globally that we want to recruit into our global network to create that driving force. And of course, to facilitate the needs of those persons in our network through our merchant platform, we are hoping to recruit 1 million merchants to meet the needs of those 10 million users globally. Another one of the components that are active at this time are fund transfers, where we can be able to transfer our cryptocurrency among our membership. And of course, our organization believes in corporate social responsibility. So we have the One World Foundation, which is the charity arm of our organization that does work all over the world in different communities. And of course, at the heart of our ecosystem, if you look at the diagram to your left, is the center. It's the OneCoin cryptocurrency, and that's the common denominator. So we're talking about speculation here. And basically, we buy on a Monday, and on Wednesday, we sell and we make a profit. So that is how the major cryptocurrencies are operating right now. No one is really having that conversation about usability, but it's more about speculation, right? And of course, outside of speculation, what really drives the economies of the world? And the short answer, folks, is productivity. the quality, state of fact of being able to generate, create, enhance, or bring forth goods and services. So that is what productivity is all about. Being able to enhance, to bring forth, or to generate goods and services. And that is how trade happens. We have to create value and bring that value to the marketplace, and then we ourselves will gain value. So we say in our network together for more. So wouldn't it be nice to be part of our global community that has these things going for it? The biggest global payment powerhouse in the world, a payment processor that can process millions of transactions per minute, leverage on the global community's productivity. So I spoke about this just before, but I'd like to elaborate on it some more. So we have a membership right now of about 3.7 active users, 3.7 million active users all over the globe, all contributing in their own significant way to our success by putting something up for sale, by purchasing something on our system, which causes the velocity of money to happen, and we see commerce happening within our network, buying and selling, all which adds up to the benefit of our ecosystem and to the value of our coins. So this is what we're looking at. We have the ability to have an asset that appreciates with time. And we're talking about the one cryptocurrency there. And of course, we want to get education that keeps us ahead of the curve. So I know the million-dollar question at this point in time in the presentation is, kiddies, how do I get started? Well, it's simple. You purchase an educational package. That's the first thing that you do. You receive the gifts of your free tokens and you mine them. You apply what you've learned to your everyday life through our OneAcademy educational program, and you win. Because knowledge isn't power until it's applied. That's the rule of thumb. So here we've seen since our company got started back in 2014, a nice, steady appreciating value of the coin up until today. We're in the year 2021 and we're moving ahead because, as our YouTube program says, we are thinking beyond 2021 and we want to be front runners. So here's a look at some of our educational packages, and our prices here are quoted in TT dollars. So each package features different modules of financial education, and these can be gotten in also blockchain technology, cryptocurrency law, forex trading, and financial education, all designed to put you ahead of the curve. So I'm just going to leave this slide up for a minute, let you guys take a snapshot, see where it is you have the ability to fit into our program and gain value in return. So education is at the heart of our company. So we encourage you to get your educational package, engage the educational material, apply the principle learned to your daily lifestyle. Also become an educated miner that can utilize the ecosystem to your maximum benefit. And we say, if you are able to motivate others to do the same, you can share in the productivity. Or you can become a merchant on dealshaker.com. So folks, that brings me to the end of my presentation this evening. And I would like to graciously hand over control to our beautiful hosts, Mr. and Mrs. Ivan Mark. Are you there with me, Ivan? All right, it seems Ivan is not on the call. Yes, I see him there. I see Michelle there. And of course, thank you for your support, all my beautiful One Life people, doing your part of the vineyard, contributing to our global success. Of course, it doesn't matter how fast we go. Once we're making progress, that's what's important. So folks, this brings me to the end of my presentation. I hoped that it would have brought a lot clear to you and would have helped you to understand what we're dealing with in this dispensation of cryptocurrency. As always, I encourage you to get back in contact with the person who invited you to this webinar and have a conversation with them as to what educational package will be right for you. All right.
All right.
Hi, Michelle.
Hi, good night, Mr. Katie's. I heard you asked one of us, you asked for a comment or a contribution. I just would like to make a small one.
Sure.
Right. So I want to thank you. Well done. Well done. For those of you seeing the presentation for the first time, I thank you for being on the program so that you the information. I just want to reiterate the amount of joy we are having in sharing this opportunity or this educational system with our one ecosystem. The thing about it is, this is the first time anyone would be ever able to say that they are learning and earning together. Won't you agree, Mr. Cadiz? We are actually learning and earning together. And that's where you have to sit with the person that invited you and look at all the disciplines that are, offered to you. It's ironic, the video that you showed with China in the very beginning was speaking about a parallel economy. And we like to let you know that we also have a parallel economy. We call it a new economy, and where you have use of it. So get back to the person. I want to just encourage everyone tonight, get back to the person that invited you, because we have packages ranging and there are much more details to give with each package. But you have to decide if you want to learn finance, if you want to learn Forex, if you want to learn blockchain and so forth. And with it, you actually have the ability to create the cryptocurrency for yourself and participate with usability. So I am excited. I like the fact that so many of us are on the program tonight, and I say congratulations to you, Mr. Cadiz, for the presentation, and I look forward to seeing much more of the others who have been to hear that they have become part of the ecosystem. So I just want to say good night and thanks for allowing me to share.
Great. Thank you. All right. Well, with that being said, folks, we'd like to close off this evening's call. And again, we want to thank you all for participating. Thank you all for viewing. And we do pray that you all keep safe during this COVID period, because we know that everything happens in cycles. And so we're positioning ourselves for the emerging trend that is happening in the world of cryptocurrency and digital payments. So as we say, one life for more life, one's out.